Jennifer wiped the grease from her hands as the last bolt clicked into place on the Constellation's hyperdrive. The repair bay of Station Kepler 186 hummed with the usual cacophony of alien languages and hissing airlocks. She'd been working double shifts for 3 weeks straight, but the pay was good, and someone had to keep the Galactic Council's fleet running. "Hey, Jen, you done with the Vrixian cruiser?" Alex called from across the bay, his toolbox clanging against his hip. "Just finished. Tell Captain Zixthor his ship is ready," she replied, grabbing her scanner to log the work. Alex jogged over, his breath slightly labored. "You need to see something loading Dock 7 now." Jennifer frowned at the urgency in his voice. Alex wasn't the type to get rattled easily. They'd been working together for 2 years, ever since he'd transferred from the Mars shipyards. "What is it?" "Just, come on." They navigated through the maze of machinery and ships until they reached the cargo area. In the shadows between 2 shipping containers, Jennifer heard it. A high-pitched, desperate whimpering that made her chest tighten. "There," Alex whispered, pointing. Huddled against the cold metal wall were 2 small creatures, no bigger than Earth terriers. They had 6 legs each, crystalline fur that shimmered between blue and purple, and enormous eyes that reflected the station's lights like twin moons. They were shaking so violently that Jennifer could hear their tiny teeth chattering. "By the stars," she breathed, slowly kneeling down. "What are they?" "Quillari pups, I think," Alex said, consulting his datapad. "From the Andromeda sector. They're an endangered species. Someone must have smuggled them aboard and just left them." The larger of the 2 pups let out a pitiful cry, pressing closer to its sibling. Both were trembling uncontrollably, their crystalline fur dimmed to an unhealthy gray. Jennifer's heart clenched. She'd seen enough of the galaxy's darkness, the trafficking, the exploitation, the casual cruelty some species inflicted on others, but she'd never gotten used to it. "We should call station security," Alex suggested, though his tone suggested he didn't like that option either. "And have them end up in some bureaucratic nightmare? Or worse, sent back to whoever abandoned them?" Jennifer shook her head. "No, help me." She slowly extended her hand, making soft clicking sounds with her tongue. The pups shrank back further, their shaking intensifying. "Easy. Easy," she murmured. "Nobody's going to hurt you." Alex crouched beside her. "Jen, we can't just take them. There are regulations, quarantine protocols. Then we'll figure it out." She reached into her jacket pocket and pulled out her lunch, a protein bar and some dried fruit. Breaking off a small piece, she held it out. The smaller pup's nose twitched. Slowly, trembling, it stretched its neck forward and sniffed. Then, with a quick snap, it grabbed the food and retreated. "Good," Jennifer whispered. "That's good." For 20 minutes they sat there, Jennifer offering food while Alex researched Quillari biology on his datapad. The pups gradually edged closer, their shaking beginning to subside as they ate. "Says here they're empathic," Alex muttered. "They can sense emotional states." "They're probably terrified because they've been surrounded by hostile intent." "Then we show them something different," Jennifer said simply. She thought about her grandmother who'd rescued dozens of animals back on Earth. The old woman had always said that kindness was a language every creature understood. Jennifer had thought it was just sentiment. But now, watching these alien pups slowly relax in her presence, she wondered if Grandma had been on to something universal. The larger pup finally crawled into her lap, still trembling but seeking warmth. Jennifer carefully wrapped her jacket around both creatures, feeling their 6-legged bodies curl against each other. "Their body temperature is dropping," Alex noted, his scanner beeping. "They need heat, proper nutrition, and probably medical attention." "Then let's get them to Dr. Cilanthrop at the med bay." "Jen, she's a Vrixian. She specializes in silicon-based life forms." "She's also the kindest being on this station," Jennifer interrupted, standing carefully with the pups bundled against her chest. She'll help. Alex sighed but smiled. You know what the other species say about humans, right? That we're crazy, that we'll adopt literally anything. Jennifer grinned. Yeah? Well, maybe crazy isn't so bad? Dr. Zelanthrop's reaction proved Jennifer right. The elderly Vrixian took one look at the trembling pups and immediately cleared her schedule. While she ran diagnostics, Jennifer and Alex filed the necessary paperwork: adoption forms, species preservation permits, and a formal complaint about illegal trafficking. Their neural pathways are underdeveloped, Dr. Zelanthrop explained, her translator rendering her clicking speech into standard. They were separated from their mother far too early. The shaking is partly fear, partly neurological. But, she tilted her crystalline head, they've already bonded to you, Jennifer. See how their fur brightens in your presence? Jennifer looked down. The pups' crystalline coats were indeed shifting from gray to a soft lavender, their shaking reduced to occasional tremors. What they need is consistency, safety, and love, the doctor continued. Things I observe humans excel at providing, despite, or perhaps because of, your emotional nature. 3 weeks later, Jennifer's quarters were a mess of chewed wires and scattered tools, but she didn't mind. The pups, she'd named them Nova and Cosmos, no longer shook at all. They followed her everywhere, their empathic abilities making them sensitive to her moods, their six-legged scampering a constant source of joy. Alex visited daily, helping train them and marveling at their intelligence. Word had spread throughout the station about the human mechanic and her alien pups, and Jennifer had noticed something interesting. Other species started bringing her their problems, their lost creatures, their mechanical puzzles that seemed unsolvable. You've become the station's unofficial problem solver, Alex observed one evening, watching Nova and Cosmos play. Jennifer smiled, scratching behind Cosmos's auditory receptors. Maybe that's what humans do best. We don't give up on things just because they're difficult or different. HFY, Alex said quietly. What? Something I read in the old Earth archives. Humanity. Fuck yeah. It's about how humans keep being human, even when the universe expects otherwise. Jennifer looked at her pups, now healthy and happy, their crystalline fur shimmering with contentment. Yeah, she agreed. I like that. Outside the viewport, stars wheeled through infinity, indifferent and eternal. But inside, in one small room on one small station, 2 alien creatures slept peacefully, rescued by the simplest and most human of impulses, to see something suffering and refuse to look away.